Welcome to the Woodshop. Today we're here with my dad, and he's going to show us some of the tools he uses to change the shape of wood. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you tell us a little bit about what we have here?
Yes, so we have an array of different tools for cutting and shaping wood. They're mostly hand tools, but we have a couple of power tools, and they're tools we use every day.
Awesome. What are these ones?
So these are chisels. They come in different sizes. As you can see, we even have some really huge ones here. And they are all made out of a very hard steel. It's much harder than the wood, so when we use them, it cuts the wood rather than the wood denting the metal.
Awesome. Can you show us how we use it?
Sure. So very carefully, I'm going to cut away from myself so I don't cut myself. And this is called paring. I'm just paring off little shavings of wood so this corner has got a flat side. So I can take off a lot of wood like this, or I can take off small amounts of wood like this.
Awesome. What are some other tools we can use to change the shape of wood?
Well, sometimes we want to, instead of changing the shape, we want to actually make something shorter or cut it to a specific length, and then we use a saw.
Can you show us how that works?
Yes. This saw is a little unusual, but it's more common these days. It's from Japan, and it cuts when you pull it. So all of the teeth are lined to cut on a pull stroke.
Why are some of the teeth bigger and some of them smaller?
Well, when we cut across the grain like we did here, that's called cross-cutting. So you need smaller teeth so they don't get caught too much. But when you cut with the grain, you're taking out more wood and you use these wider spaced teeth.
So that's like having a bigger chisel.
It is. In fact, if we looked close at these, you'd see like they're just a whole bunch of tiny chisels.
Awesome. How else can we change the shape of wood? We cut, we took off some from the edges.
We shaped it.
What
Yep.
else can we do?
Well, a common thing to do is to make holes in things. We might need to do that so we can put a screw in or a dowel or put things together. And I'm going to use this old-fashioned drill. It's called a bit and brace, but it shows you very well how they work. So it has a little screw at the end, and then it has, they're called flutes, and at each end it's essentially a chisel.
Wow, those shavings remind me of the chisel shavings.
Exactly. It was just cutting, but only in a circular way. So it makes a round hole.
Awesome. Now it seems like sometimes the cutting and the drilling and even the chiseling can leave the wood kind of rough. What do we do if we want to change it just a little bit or make it smoother?
Well, just like these, we have a whole set of tools and different things we can do that. A common thing is sandpaper, and I think you guys are going to be using sandpaper. Sandpaper is like lots of little broken sharp rocks that are glued to paper, and they have all these cutting surfaces. But if we look at this tool, which is a rasp, it's very similar, just much bigger and rougher. So let's take a look at this. We can use it in two different ways. One is by hand. We can just kind of hold it. And if we look at this sharp corner, do you feel that? You could get a splinter off of that. I could sand like this, but I'll show you a trick.
Oh, that's already better.
I'm going to take this piece that we cut off, and you could use almost anything, wrap it around it, and now it's easier to hold. And let's say we want to make that not only smooth, but kind of round. I could even make it round over here.
You totally changed the shape of the wood. Great, thanks for showing us a lot of the tools that you might find in a wood shop. But what if kids want to try this on their own? What if they want to change the shape of wood?
Well, probably the safest, easiest thing to use would be sandpaper like this, which you may have gotten. And if you didn't, you could use a nail file, which is sandpaper, or you could even use the sidewalk or some other abrasive thing like a brick.
Oh, that's awesome. So how would we go about using our sandpaper on these wood samples?
Well, like we said, I really like to wrap my sandpaper around something. I find it easier to hold, so anything you have would work. I could even use this sample to start with.
Oh, so you could put it on one piece of wood to sand the other.
Exactly, and then we can change it back. So I might feel this and it's a little rough. And I'm going to feel this side that I didn't sand and this side that I did sand.
Oh, yeah. And right now you're sanding on this flat surface of the wood. What happens if you want to try to use it on the corner?
Okay, so let's see if we can make this corner kind of rounded.
Let's see. Oh, yeah, look at that. Now it's rounded instead of sharp.
And you could make all of the corners like that if you wanted to.
Now, this was our softer wood. This was pine. What happens if we swap it out and try to sand a harder wood? Will it feel different?
It will work, but it probably be a little more work to make the wood change shape. So let's try and see. I'm going to take this same corner so we can see how that looks. Does it sound different?
Yeah. It's still getting rounded, but it took you a little bit longer.
Right, and I had to press harder too, so it might take a little more patience.
Awesome. Well, I really hope that you can use your sandpaper and try to change the shape of some wood that you have around you. Have fun. Be safe.